What's up, YouTube? So we're back at it again. I just want to show you guys this 2021 CRF250R. This thing is turning out awesome. I don't know how a 250 is going to be with these big fat tires, but we are going to have to tweak the gearing a little bit just to make sure the bike does have enough power and it's not boggy with the heavy tires. So let's check out the progress on this bad boy. So I'm going to show you guys what we've been up to. We more or less had to put the big wheel project on hold and just get all the components built before we were actually offering them to the public. So we had a pre-order going on our website. We've actually been selling big wheel kits the last few months, and we've been working on all the orders and of course getting builds done at the same time. So let's get into it. First off, guys, I just want to say, after the first video we put up of the first big wheel project, I could not believe the support, emails, phone calls, all that stuff that we received. Everybody seems excited about these, so these are going to become a full production part for us. At first it was just a fun project that we did, but we've since the first video, we've actually perfected these kits. We started making a lot more of the components in-house, such as the jack shaft sprocket. So that was a big holdup. We were waiting on a certain company to make these for us, and we ended up just bringing it in-house with our equipment. It is what it is, but this is going to help keep the cost down, and it's actually going to have a faster turnover when we make these kits. But this is the swing arm that you guys, very similar to the first one we made. We've actually lightened it up a little bit and worked on some clearance issues. We're able to move this back just for more clearance on your foot when it's on the peg. We have a very similar design as the rear hub before. I added 2 extra bolts here on the sprocket adapter. I just wanted to make sure there was enough strength for the rotational force there, and I didn't want to have any issues with the multi-piece hub. So we went with the same wheels, Kaiser Wheels. Like I said, very similar design to the first one. We just did some tweaks on the overall fitment, the way we do the gusseting. It's a little bit more streamlined. We're using our Bentech now to cut all these pieces out, so everything is done CNC. It comes out completely perfect and square. So next thing I'm doing is finishing up the brake disc adapter. Another part we started doing in-house too was the rear axles. So more or less the whole deal is in-house now, other than the wheels. That's going to help the turnover time. Yeah, guys, you already know how our front ends look. You've seen that before. So that's very similar to the trike front ends, just with a little bit different setup, a little offset change on the hub, different wheel, different tire. We are running the brake on the outside just for clearance. These tires are pretty close. We run our clamps as skinny this way as possible just for axle strength. If you start widening these clamps out too much, I mean, you are going to be bending axles, just the nature of it. But we've been running this setup on our trikes for quite a few years now and haven't had really any issues at all with it. We are going to be adding a chain guard over this. So we're going to have a bracket here, some sort of a guard that covers this. Just keep your foot from rubbing the sprocket, keep anything from happening if the chain was to loosen up. So there will be a guard on there. Let's take a walk over to the CNCs. You guys can see that running. Little batch of hubs. So this is op 1 on the brake side of the hub. And they're basically coming out of the other machine over here. They come out of the other machine. Come out just like this. Now this is a 2-piece hub. So that part goes down. That gets bolted right on there, just like that. And if you guys haven't seen our first video of when we were designing all these parts, definitely check it out. This was posted a few months ago. Yeah, guys, that's a little update video for you. We've just been hammering out parts, getting everything ready for the swing arms, chain, front jack shaft adjusters. These are some inserts that get welded onto the swing arm. So these guys actually rotate inside them. Added some O-ring grooves on here. So we're going to be putting O-rings on here. As they slide in there, we're going to be packing these with grease just so that the adjusters don't ever seize up. So there's been a lot of improvements right down to jack shaft spacers. So these are actually going to ride on the seal, and it's going to ride inside the bearing. So when you lock these in and you go to slide your jack shaft onto the bike, your spacers aren't going to just fall out. They're pretty well locked in there. I mentioned us making the sprockets, so here we are. These turned out awesome. So it was a combination of our S220 lathe and our mill just to get this done, but we made it happen. Yeah, super nice piece. So we're just finishing our batch of hubs and going from there. Come on, the mess over here. We haven't cleaned this thing in a day or so. Yeah, the Bentex more or less CNC cutter for tube. So purchased this a few months ago. Got it all set up to cut all of our swing arm tubes, most of our material. This is all the parts for the big wheel. You guys can see all the different pieces. There's a handful of them. Yeah, that allows us to actually build them as fast as possible and as perfect as possible, because everything's perfectly square. You guys can see some of the different pieces that go into this. So some of this is plate cut on our CNC plasma table. The rest of it's done on the Bentec. You've seen the inserts earlier that get welded into the swing arm for the jack shaft. Of course, we're gonna wall our tag on the side. That's a pretty sweet part when it's done. Looks really cool. Yeah, that's all welded together as an assembly. We make sure all the tubes are where they should be and they didn't pull or move too much when they're welded, and then the pivot tubes go on last. Let's check this out. Yeah, ready for op 2, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and throw that in the other mill and get that rolling. So these fixtures, we cut them based on the job. Part locks back in. Pretty much it, guys. Stay tuned for the next video. I'm gonna get this thing completely finished up, powder coated, completely done. We're gonna start the bike up, do a full walk around when it's completely finished, and go from there. Now, I'm gonna insert some clips from our last big wheel video of us actually testing the last bike. These things are absolutely awesome to ride. They honestly feel like a pig pit bike. I apologize for all the noise in the background, but we gotta get the mills running so we can make parts today. But check out bvcbigwheels.com for more info, or go to bvcoffroad.com. And if you're into trikes, hit up bvctrikes.com. If you guys have any questions, give us a call, 518-563-3699. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.